Hello, and welcome to a new episode of the Good Ole Podcast. I'm Jacquie Franciulli for Wahoo's 24/7, and we have a special episode for you guys on this Tuesday. And generally, we usually talk high school recruiting, maybe a little bit of Virginia football this week, but we're switching up the schedule a little bit. We're going to have a football-focused episode on Thursday. Today, we're focused on basketball. Actually, we're bringing back a series that we haven't done an episode for about a year now. It's the For the Love of the Game series. Now, if you're new to the podcast, we started this last year where we invite a family member or just someone that knows a Virginia athlete or Virginia coach really well so that we can get to know these student athletes and these coaches better. Because who better to let us know who these guys and women are than the people that know them best. So on this week, I invited someone that knows a Virginia men's basketball athlete pretty well. And it's someone that Virginia fans have been excited about this season. I invited Ryan Dunn's father, Ed Dunn, to the show. Ryan has certainly made his presence known on the court, and I mean, he has certainly made his presence known. I feel like there's more highlight reels of Ryan Dunn's blocks and dunks than many other players out there. He has certainly made those minutes count when they matter, and he's made an impact defensively for the Cavaliers this season. And he's only a first year. And he almost didn't have a scholarship for UVA. So I'm inviting Ed Dunn to the show to break down his unconventional recruitment, but also to kind of break down what makes Ryan Dunn Ryan Dunn. So we're going to take a quick break, but on the flip side, Ed Dunn will be joining the show. And just as a note for our YouTube viewers, this will just be an audio podcast for the interview. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to see just a graphic up, but you can listen to what Ed Dunn has to say. So we'll be back in just a few seconds. And welcome back to the Good Ole Podcast. I'm Jacquie Franciulli for Wahoo's 24/7, and we have a special guest on the show today. We have Ed Dunn, Ryan Dunn's father. Ed, thank you so much for joining us today.
You are welcome. Thank you for having me.
And I just want to get your first reaction to all the attention Ryan is getting right now through his efforts. And I feel like he has a fan club on social media right now. I think everyone just fell in love with your son's effort on the court this last few weeks.
Shock, just utter, just appreciation, shock, blessed. I would say I feel my reactions are to see where he's at, knowing from where he came from, and just amazed.
What was I think Florida State was the road game where he had the most minutes up to date. Tell me about watching that game and seeing how much of an impact he has made.
Going into the season, again, our expectations were basically almost every season we watch him play, right? Going from 0 minutes or 1 minute to starting to gain minutes. We kind of get used to that with regards to him. That's just sort of been his story ever since high school and starting out in junior varsity and working his way up. It's amazing to see him out there for that amount of time, right? It's like when he comes off the bench, you don't know how many minutes he's going to get. So like on that game, it's like, he's still in. He's still in. Oh, he's going to play a while. Oh, this is great. Wait a minute. He's going to close this game out. So it's just an exciting thing to watch happen as it's happening live.
Tony Bennett has shared kind of the story of your son's recruitment, how he knew he wanted to come to Virginia. He didn't have a scholarship offer open. Could you kind of talk us back about those moments when he found out that there was no scholarship open, but he still decided to come to Virginia?
I don't know how in-depth I got into it before, but I'll get a little more in-depth into it now. His older brother, Justin, that went to Boston College, when he was going through the recruiting process, I sort of took the lead with regards to selecting the college for him, which is something that Justin always will make me remember. That's something that I've done and didn't give him the opportunity to go where he wanted to go. And looking at it in retrospect, I know why I did it, because I don't think he was putting much thought and effort into going to college. He just wanted to go right to pro ball. So he went to Boston College. So when Ryan started going through the process, he told me, told Ryan, Don't let dad make the decision for you. You make the decision. Go on your tours. Go to the school. See what you have to see. And I was like, okay, I'm going to let him go through the process. So when we started the process and Tony called and I heard him in my mind, I was like, this is it. We make the decision now. We don't need to do anything else. This is the right place to go. And they were like, no, let him go. Let him go through the process. Let him go through the college process. Let him go through the recruitment process. So when Tony called that day and said, hey, I'm sorry, we don't have a scholarship to offer him, I said to myself, all right, well, that's the school I think he should go to. That's the school I think he wants to go to. And the only reason why you didn't do that is your brother talked you into not listening to me in the first place. So, ipso facto, your brother's going to pay for you the first year. So, no matter. So we were just going to go. Right? Either Tony's going to pay it or his brother's going to pay it, but somebody's going to do it based off the decision. And I get we wanted him to go through the process, but I told that story to his brother while talking to him while he was sitting in the Ritz-Carlton playing in the MLB. I said, my decision didn't work out too bad for you, did it? So I think I should have been allowed to make the decision here. But I'm glad that at the end of the day, that was Ryan's decision. That's where Ryan wanted to go. It all worked out in time. But when we got the call, I was a little upset. I was upset that I did not stick to my gut and make that call earlier. And then that's when I told his brother, I said, hey, guess what? We messed up. And we're going to make sure that we're going to make it right. And no matter what happens, that's where he's going to go. And we knew Ryan, once he got there, he would work his way in to the rotation.
What made you certain that Virginia was the place for Ryan?
A couple of things. Number one, they checked the box. They checked a couple of boxes for me. As an ACC school, they were playing in one of the best conferences in the country. That was a box check for me. Listening to Tony on the phone. As I said before, Tony not only talked about the good things that he did, but he also talked about the things that he needed to improve. And I normally don't say anything to a coach. I don't let them know how I feel. I want to see what they see in Ryan. And everything that he said as a box check was things that I saw as well. And I'm like, okay, so he gets it. Then just the coaching staff, the demeanor of everyone. After going on one or two visits, like the staff at Pitt, loved the Capel brothers. Amazing guys. Then we went to Minnesota, another amazing, staff. Once you start going through the process and you're meeting all these great people, you start feeling bad because you're, at the end of the day, but Virginia kept speaking to me and spoke to Ryan. So we just kind of knew. And then again, when we got there, it was over. The campus and the environment and the coaching staff, it was over then.
When he got that call saying, because that was about the time Isaac Trout committed, which is where the scholarship offer. Mm-hmm. That could have been a moment where Ryan just kind of gave up, but he didn't. You said you never had a doubt in your mind that he would come on grounds and earn that scholarship offer. What was that like, that first couple of days after he received the news? Was it ever a doubt in his mind that he said, no, I'm just going to go and I'm going to get that scholarship offer eventually?
We made the decision about going, again, I think Tony said I called him back in an hour, right? It didn't go that long. I just went to him and said, hey, do you want to do this? And he said, yeah, that's what I want to do. I said, all right, I got you. And then I went and made the call to Tony. So he didn't have to sit with it that long. He was upset for a little bit, but we came right back and said, we're going to try to fix this thing.
Did you see that determination that Ryan? I see him on the court, and there's always this determination in him when he plays. You saw the determination right off to kind of say, "I'm going to be at Virginia, and I'm going to make an impact right away."
I will say this: he probably was shocked. I don't know if you've ever seen his commitment video, but when he truly said, "If you asked me this 3 years ago, would you have told me I'd be in this moment to be committing to Virginia? I would think you're kidding, or you were joking." I don't know if you watched the game he played against Monmouth. At the end of the game, you saw him walk over to Tony, and he whispered, he said, thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you for trusting me. I know he just truly feels blessed that he's there. And we all do. Truly feel blessed that he's there.
How was that phone call when you guys received the news that he was getting that scholarship after all?
To be honest, we didn't get a phone call to say he was getting a scholarship afterwards. It just kind of I was like, I think he got a scholarship. It's like, no, I think he got one. Yeah, it looks good. It was not a phone call that said, hey, guess what? We have room for you. We were going through the process. He wasn't on campus or whatever. And then I think we got an email from somebody on faculty or staff saying, you're going to be in the class with these 3 guys, and as scholarship athletes, we say, oh, I guess he did get one. Very good.
His brother's wallet is a little heavier.
Brother's wallet feels a little bit better now. No, his brother has been so by his side through this whole process. He has really helped with regards to not only the commitment he's made for him mentally by being there for him, but financially there as well. He's helped out with his brother for a long time. He's been really had his back for a long time. I'm so proud of him.
He apparently also spurred him on during that game against Boston College. He said he had an extra little motivation to play really well against Boston College's his brother's alma mater.
Yeah, that Boston College game was very significant for many reasons. But yeah, some of it was his brother's alma mater. Another piece of it is when I first started the process, I walked him up to Boston College through Coach Gambino, and I called the baseball coach and said, "Hey, Mike, look, Mike took a chance on my oldest one because he was a late bloomer. So when he was offered a scholarship coming out as a freshman to BC, a lot of people called and like, are you sure, Mike? Are you sure this is the kid that you want? We have a lot of other players." And he's like, "No, this is the kid I want." And Justin blossomed into who Justin was. So I had called Mike and said, "Hey, Mike, I'm not sure, but I think I might have another one. So let your coach know." And it happened to be a new coach, and Coach Grant came in, and Mike didn't really know him, and put a word in, and we walked up there. But they were like, "Okay, we'll keep an eye on you." And I'm like, "Okay." And at that point in time, that's when I turned the process back over to Ryan and said, "Okay, Ryan, you make the decision now. I'm going to leave this alone." So for Boston College not to really look at him seriously when he first came up there, I was kind of happy too that day was called Ryan Dunn Day when it was all said and done.
That's why he had a little cheeky grin when he was in the press conference. Okay, now it all makes sense. He looked really proud of himself in that moment. Yeah, so that's a lot.
they big leagued him a little bit when we walked up there. They big leagued him. So that was good.
All the pieces tied together in that press conference room now.
Yeah.
By the way, he does a really good job at press conferences. You don't think he's a freshman?
I'm very happy with where he's at. He just did a podcast yesterday. I just texted him this morning and I said, "Hey, great job. I like that you feel comfortable. You're looking comfortable. You are getting Ryan. Who you're seeing on the camera or behind the mic is Ryan. That is him, 100%."
How would you describe Ryan?
How would I describe Ryan? He's different. He's my heart. He's just an awesome human being. I will say that he's an awesome human being. What you see is what you get. He's pure. He'll make his mistakes. He's a little goofy, but love, purity. He's. It's difficult for me to put, like, I'm going to describe him this way or that way. Yeah. He's just it. He's it for me. He's a great kid.
It's always hard to describe your child, isn't it?
Yeah. What words? I don't know what words to use for him. What adjectives to use for him. He's a great human being.
Did he always want to play? Did you always want to play basketball for him? And Justin obviously gravitated towards baseball. Was that kind of just early on? Did you see those passions for both of those sports?
No, I'm a baseball guy through and through. I've been a baseball guy all my life. So, Justin growing up playing baseball, that was just the godsend for me. And then Ryan being around it, he watched us go through the process. So, Justin was playing travel ball since 9 years old. Ryan was 2 at the time in a stroller. Ryan was around watching Justin go through the getting ready to go into the draft combines and all those other types of things. So growing up, he was always around baseball. He was always at the cage with us. He was always at pitching lessons with us. So we just assumed they were going to be a double play combination, right? And Ryan started to play baseball, and he was pretty good, and got him on a high-level travel team by the time he was 11. It was Tri-State Arsenal. In fact, his brother didn't even make the Tri-State Arsenal. I always rip him about that. And I'm like, one of the best teams in the East Coast, you didn't make, he did. But I could see Ryan wasn't having the same amount of fun that Justin had. And then I also could see he didn't have the same level of passion. I had when Justin was 12, I had purchased him a glove, like an MLB glove, and put his name on it and gave it to him, and he cherished that glove. I did the same thing for Ryan. 2 days later, where's the glove? I don't know where the glove is at. Or, so then, like he said, when he hurt his elbow, he started hanging out here more with his friends and things of that nature, gravitate towards basketball. And I'm more about your passion. Follow your passion. If your passion is basketball, then great. If it's baseball, then great. I'm not going to force feed you. So when I started to see that, he was gravitating towards basketball, he won a little shooting competition. He started doing things that I had never shown him, and I wasn't a great basketball player at all. So just watching him doing what he's doing, and then say, okay, well, we're going to be serious about this, then let's be serious. So around his freshman year of high school is when we started looking seriously into basketball.
Are you now an empty nester now with both of your kids off?
No, I figured, it's like high-level travel balls for us still. Right? That's all this is. It's the same travel ball that from when they were 9. They're just now playing travel ball at another level. Justin's playing travel ball on the pro level, and Ryan's playing travel ball on the collegiate level. So it's the same thing. We talk to them, Zoom with them almost every day. No, it's not as if we don't see them. We're still in contact with them on a daily basis.
So do you try to get to as many games as possible?
To be honest with you, no. I try to pick and choose certain games to go to. Number one, with the beautiful ability of watching on television. Sometimes for me as the dad, it's easier for me to watch a game on TV than it is to watch it in person. Right. Secondly, I want them to get used to the fact mom and dad are not going to be at every game that you're going to play. And there's a lot of pros out there. And of course, always the goal is to go pro, right? There's a lot of pros out there that, no, they don't get mom and dad at every game. So you need to get used to that. We're not going to be there every game. So we pick and choose spots.
My final question is, because I always like to know more about the athlete rather than just what he does on the court. If there was something that you would want people to know about Ryan, what would it be?
He's a creative to me. He has a good eye for style. I think that he is also a very giving and caring person. I will say that about him. He's just really finding himself right now. He's really just finding himself. I think that that's the beautiful thing when watching him right now. It's like everything that you're seeing are all firsts, right? He's new into basketball. He's only been playing serious basketball since maybe his senior year, which he really only played 3 games on a high school circuit at that point in time. Then he went into AAU ball after his senior year. That's when all the offers and stuff started to come. So again, all this is new. It's what you're seeing with him. But he's worked really, really, really hard to get to where he's at. And he's continuing to work really, really hard for his future. So I'm really happy to see the work ethic that he's putting in and all the accolades and stuff that are coming, and knowing that we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah, he's only a freshman.
Only a freshman. So. A lot of work still to do.
Well, Ed, thank you so much for talking about Ryan and joining us today.
Hey, Jacquie, thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you so much for Ed for joining us on the show. It's always nice to get to know these athletes a little bit better. And like I said during the interview, that Boston College game, everything came together. I could see why he had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder when he hit that hardwood that game. So you definitely could see it. So again, thanks so much for Ed Dunn for coming on the show. Now, we also have a longer written feature on Ryan Dunn available on Wahoo's 24/7. You can head over to the site, or you can also click on the link for the story in our comment section on YouTube if you're not watching or listening to this on the site on Wahoo's 24/7, or just head over to wahoos247.com and you can see the story as well, talking a little bit more, and you have quotes from Tony Bennett as well as Ryan Dunn as well in that story. So if you want more details on Ryan, you can head over to the site. So, well, thanks again for listening. And again, we'll return to football on Thursday with a more Thursday football centric. And we'll also have a special guest on the show. It's someone that you might want to listen to. Virginia quarterback, Tony Muskett. He'll be on the show on Thursday. So make sure you tune in to hear what the newest quarterback, Cavalier, has to say about how he is fitting in at UVA. So we'll see you back here on Thursday.